Hello everyone. In our heat transfer lecture series, we are going to study the numerical methods in heat conduction. Seeing that we have in previous lecture we have studied what is the necessity to use a numerical methods in heat conduction. Now we will see the finite difference formulation or differential equations. The numerical methods for solving differential equations are based on replacing the differential equations by algebraic equations. In this case, the popular finite difference method, this is done by replacing derivatives by differences. Okay. So below we demonstrate this is with both first and second order derivatives. So we have given example as the a is equal to a0 in bracket 1 plus I raised to n. This is equal to, if you have given a previous amount as $100 and for 1 year we have 1 plus 0.09, interest rate is 9% square. After that 1 year we are getting the $118.81. Okay. So first derivative is dA by dt. So derivative of a with respect to time. So this is equal to I into a, but a is equal to a0 exponential of I multiplied with time period. So amount a is equal to $100 exponential 18% into 1 is equal to $119.72. So that means if you use for a one period, for a total one period, the interest rate, if you find out the amount we have interested and what we are getting the interest from that amount. So for the particular 1 year, we are getting only $18, $118.81. But if you use for a small period of time, if you consider small period of time, this value is going to increase. So that means the reasonably accurate results can be obtained by replacing differential quantities by sufficiently small differences. So that we have seen in the table. So here in balance of a $100 account in earning interest at an annual rate of 18% of various compounding periods. So for 1 year we are getting only $18. But if you getting for number of iterations and for 1 second, if you calculate for a one year, this value will be increased. So this is a $19.72. For large period 1 year is only $18. But if you consider a 1 year in terms of second, we are getting $19. So that means if we getting a small differences, then we are getting a accurate results. Now here we develop the finite differential formulation of heat conduction problems by replacing the derivatives in the differential equations by differences. In the following sections, in this section, if you see here, we will do it using the energy balance method. So first, we will give a brief review of a derivative. Consider a function of x. Consider the function of x as shown in figure. The first derivative of f of x at a point is equivalent to the slope of the line tangent to the curve at that point is defined as, so here this one, derivative of f of x with respect to x is equal to limit delta x tends to 0 delta f divided by delta x. This is equal to limit at delta x tends to 0 f of x plus delta x minus f of x. So from this difference. So from the difference, from this difference versus this difference, that means this function f is changing according to the x. So this is we have recurred. But at the point x, we are getting the tangent line passing through this curve. So for that point, we are getting a changing function with respect to x in this form. So finite in the finite difference form, we are getting the derivative of f of x with respect to x. This is nearly equal to f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. Okay. So this is the first derivative. Now, this approximate expression of the derivatives in terms of differences is the finite difference form of the first derivative. This equation can also be obtained by writing Taylor series of expansion of the function f above the point x. So this is the Taylor series of expansion of this equation. So in that we will be neglecting higher order terms, that means delta x square and delta x cube, etc. Because if we increase the x square value, obviously the error also going to increase. So that's why neglecting this term, we are only taking the first two terms. F of x plus delta x is equal to f of x plus delta x multiplied derivative of f of x with respect to dx. Okay. The smaller the value of delta x, the smaller the error, and thus the more accurate the approximation. So that is this one. Okay. Now we'll see here. Therefore, now consider a steady one-dimensional heat transfer in a plane wall of a thickness L with a heat generation. The wall is subdivided into m sections of equal thicknesses as delta x by delta x is equal to L by m in the x direction, separated by the planes passing through m plus 1 points 0, 1, 2, m minus 1, m plus 1. So here m is called as nodes or the nodal points. The x coordinates of any point m is simplified as x of m is equal to m multiplied with delta x, and the temperature at that point is simplified T x of m is equal to T of m. The heat conduction equation involves the second derivatives of temperature with respect to the space variables such as delta d square t by dx square, and the finite difference formulation is based on replacing the second derivatives by appropriate differences. But we need to start the process with the first derivative using this one. The first we will find out the derivative of x with respect to x at m minus 1 by 2 node. So in that we are getting, this is approximately equal to T at m, temperature at m minus temperature at m minus 1 divided by delta x. Okay, and derivative of dt by dx at m plus 1 by 2 is equal to approximately equal to Tm plus 1 minus Tm divided by delta x. Okay, now we're taking the double derivative of the function. So double derivative of temperature with respect to x, and that means at the center point as m. So this will find out. So the first change in the temperature with respect to m minus 1, and second change in temperature with respect to m plus at a point m plus 1 by 2. Okay. So after substituting the values from this equation, we will see this. This is the result. So double derivative we will get Tm minus 1 minus 2Tm plus Tm plus 1 divided by dx square. Okay. Now if you see for a one-dimensional uh, uh, one-dimensional heat equation, so d square t by dx square plus E dot divided by k. So that means if you consider the energy generation into the plane wall, so this is the equation. In that we will substitute the double derivative of the temperature with respect to x by using this equation. So T minus 1 minus 2Tm plus Tm plus 1 divided by delta x square plus Em by k. That means energy generation into the at the m is equal to 0. When we will substitute m is equal to 1, 2, 3 to the m minus 1 here. So temperature at m is equal to 1 by 2 T minus m plus T m plus 1. So there is no heat generation. So this is the concept. So that means we have changed the derivative in the form of difference here, and double derivative again if we form in the differences here. So this is the concept. Now if you see here, the same equation, plane wall, differential equation is b square t by dx square plus e dot divided by k is equal to 0, and this is valid. This differential equation is valid only at the nodal points, but the final difference equation, so this equation we are, if you change into the difference method, that means final difference method, then this is valid at any point on this nodes. So the differential equation is valid at every point of a medium, whereas the different final differential equation is valid at a discrete point only. Okay. The final difference formulation for steady two-dimensional heat equation in a region with a heat generation and constant thermal conductivity in rectangular quadrant. So we have given this example. In that we have given a plane, and if you find out the solution to for the heat transfer in x direction and y direction, that means if you divide these points in m nodes and n nodes, then what is the equation? You will see this is the equation. So t m minus 1 n minus 2 t m n plus t m minus 1 n divided by delta x square plus t m n plus 1 minus t 2 t m n plus t m n minus 1 divided by delta y square. That means the temperature change in x direction and temperature change in y direction plus energy generation into the element divided by thermal conductivity is equal to 0. So that means we can use a finite difference method in simplified manner for two-dimensional heat transfer also. Okay. Now, one-dimensional steady heat conduction. Okay. In this section, we develop the finite difference formulation for heat conduction in a plane wall using the energy balance approach and discuss how to solve the resulting equation. Now, it's here we have given an example of a plane wall. In that, we have considered a small elemental area, and at the center point we are getting a point M, a general interior node of this element. Okay. And we will divide this part into M minus 1 node and M plus 1 node. If you taking here, heat is conducted from the left side of the element, and heat is also conducted from right side of the element into the element. And if there is a energy generation into the element, then we will see the energy balance equation as the rate of heat conduction at the left side surface plus rate of heat conduction at the right surface plus rate of heat generation inside the element is equal to rate of change of energy content of this element. So that means addition of all these three heat concepts, this will be included as a rate of change internal energy of this element. So we'll substitute the values: Q conduction from the left plus Q conduction from the right plus energy generation into the element is equal to rate of change of internal energy respect to time is equal to 0. So if you consider this is a steady heat transfer, that means with respect to time this is, must be 0. That means there is no change into the internal energy with respect to time. So if you consider, so that means the rate of change is 0. So energy generation into the element is E dot m multiplied volume element. So E dot m area of this element multiplied with cross sectional area multiplied with delta x. So Q dot conduction, by using Fourier law of heat conduction, Q dot conduction is equal to K change in temperature with respect to L. Okay. So now by using finite difference method, we will change the temperature derivative equation into the difference method. So Q dot conduction from the left is equal to K Tm minus 1 minus Tm. So here temperature at M minus 1 minus Tm, that means heat is conducted from left side, so divided by delta X. And from the right side, if you consider Q conduction is equal to K Tm plus 1 minus Tm divided by delta X. If substitute this value, we are getting this is the equation plus energy generation into the element. Okay, if you solve or if you simplify this equation, what we are getting? So this is the equation Tm minus 1 minus 2Tm plus Tm plus 1 divided by delta X square plus energy generation at a volume element divided by thermal conductivity is equal to 0. In that, we have to substitute the values of m is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to the m minus 1, capital M minus 1. Okay. So this is the concept. So this equation is applicable to each of the m minus 1 in interior nodes, and its application use m minus 1 equations for the determination of temperature at m plus 1 nodes. So we can find out this equation at a number of nodal points. Okay. The two additional equations needed to solve the for the m plus 1, capital M plus 1 unknown nodal temperatures are obtained by applying the energy balance on the two elements at the boundaries, unless of course the boundary temperatures are specified. So for that we have given the examples here. Okay, what is the example we have? Assuming heat transfer to be out of the volume element at the right surface. That means in previous concept we have seen the heat is transferred from left side and right side also. Okay. Now here we are taking the example as from the left side the heat transfer into the element, and from the right side heat transfer out of the element. So what is the equation? So here this is the equation. So K T1 minus T2 divided by delta X minus K T2 minus K3 divided by delta X plus energy generation into the volume element is equal to 0. So after solve we are getting this is the equation. And for second concept, assuming heat transfer to be into volume element at all surfaces. That means at previous condition, what we are getting? So heat transfer is available from right side and left side. Okay. So for that, in the concept, K T1 minus T2 divided by delta X plus K T3 minus T2 divided by delta X plus E2, or this is a volume element energy generation into the volume element. After solving, we are getting this is the equation. So the assumed direction of the heat transfer at surfaces of a volume element has no effect on the finite difference method. So that means if you change the direction of the heat transfer, there is no change into the finite difference formation. So, so this is about the steady one dimension heat transfer by using a finite difference method. Thank you.